Look at this. It's just us. Just us, guys. Sorry. I lost my I lost my intro music. How sad is that?
It is sad, you know,
It's
but we're gonna
very
be okay.
sad.
We're gonna be
I think
okay. This
so.
this
I
stream
mean,
will not be unlike.
The show today is no exception to some of the great work that I've done in the past.
It never gets old.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. I think I'm maybe some of our friends are tiring of seeing it, but Josh, you and me, no. I'm with you,
Eh,
man. It
Can't
just
get enough.
is. Can't get enough. How you doing? I haven't seen you in
Yeah.
like 24 hours.
I know, right?
Maybe less than that.
Back when we got accused of some horrible things.
Terrible things. Yes, it's true. So but yeah, good to see you. Good to be back here reading some Hebrew. We missed it 2 weeks ago, and for that I was very sad.
Mm.
And I tried to make up for it with okay. This guy's here.
Oh, okay, great.
So
Well, why don't you want? Should we go ahead and cover it?
yeah, why don't we so this just to clue everyone in, Josh and I got into a Twitter exchange with maybe the best Twitter handle I've ever seen. Where's my super suit from the
It
Incredible.
really is great.
Yeah.
It really is great.
So but he very insistently wants to argue that the text in Genesis 3 verse 8 reads, he actually wants to come on the show and talk.
I don't know that we have time to do that.
I don't think we have time to do that. We can just quickly kind of run through the text, because this is sorry about it. Like this is a teaching stream where we read through the text. So we'll take a few minutes just to kind of go through this and cover what's going on here. But he very insistently wants to read the text of Genesis chapter 3 verse 8 as the Adam heard the voice of Yahweh God moving through the garden, on the basis of his belief that Yahweh God can't have a body. We have on Twitter, Josh and I have tried to provide the syntactical contextual rationale for how to read this text. Josh, do you want to maybe explain this?
Yeah.
In hopefully in a way that he can sort it out.
Yeah.
So
to be clear, just so that everybody can kind of follow along here. So here, this is Genesis 3:8. Vayishmu et kol Yahweh Elohim mit halech. So, the way that you could read this in the English, it's tough in the English, right? And they heard the sound, the voice, whatever, of Yahweh God walking in the garden. So in English, what's walking? Well, in English, you could do it either way, right? It could be the sound walking, the sound of Yahweh, or it could be the sound of Yahweh who was walking, right? So Yahweh walking. I'm trying to think of a good analogy or a good parallel, and I'm blanking. We would probably say, like, I heard the sound of my refrigerator running.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah. So, like, what is it that is running? Is the sound running, or is the refrigerator running? Right. Well, that's English. We don't want to. It can't stop at English. So let's look at the syntax here, because it is a little tricky. Again, the reason that this is important is that if God doesn't have a body, right? If Yahweh God here doesn't have a body, you can't have him walking, right? You have to have like his voice walking or something.
Yeah.
And this is something that's come up actually in another context, believe it or not. So there is a way that we can kind of figure this out. If you remember, mithalech, this is a hitpael, masculine singular. It's a participle, right? A hitpael participle from halach. So to like be walking around, but it's masculine. It's masculine singular. Kol is a masculine singular noun, right? So you could say, oh, let's see that those have to match, right? The participle has to match the noun. But of course, Yahweh God is also masculine. So it's in that sense ambiguous. So what we want to do is try to find other constructions, other syntactical constructions that meet the same criteria. And again, you don't have to like reinvent the wheel here. Juan and Maroka have a really great section on this. And I've saved all the we looked up all the page numbers, so it's going to look like I'm really clever, but I'm not. I'm just typing in the page number because it takes so long to find it when you scroll through. So this is First
Without
Kings.
question.
You might.
This is a text we looked at a few weeks ago, people.
That's right. So everybody should be able to do this in their sleep, right?
That's right. We know this. We know this text.
All right. So Vayishma Yahu v'cholaka. So on his guest. So Vayishma Yoav et kol shofar. So in Joab heard the sound of the shofar, and here you go.
The voice of the shofar.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said, Madua kol hakirya homa. So, like why or on what account or what is, right? This like the sound of the city, the roaring, uproaring one. Notice kirya, feminine singular. Homa, feminine singular.
Feminine.
So these two in this syntactical construction, this noun and this participle go together. It's not even, this is a masculine singular, right? So it's these two are going together in the construction. It's not the sound, the kol that is in the uproar. It's the kirya. One more, just very quickly. There are a bunch of different ones, but these are just really clear ones. This is from chapter 14, down in verse 6. There you are. Vahi chishmach Yahu et kol ragleha ba'a. And when Ahyahu heard the sound of
her feet.
Raglaim,
going.
Right?
Yeah.
It's right. Coming or entering or going, whatever. Notice it's ba'a. Regel is a feminine. Ba'a, going. So again, it's this syntactic construction. You have the voice of X participle that modifies the X. So when we go back very quickly, and then I'll stop. It's page 60. That's where Genesis 3:8 is in the PDF. We bring this back here. Vayishma et kol Yahweh Elohim mithalech. So here is the voice of X. So it is Yahweh Elohim who is mithaleching.
And sorry, I've got this flagged. Simone makes a good point here, right? This is not just halak. This is not just the cal form. This is the hit halech, which consistently in the Hebrew Bible is not just walking. Like this is I tend to say this is customarily doing something. This is performing in the fashion that we ordinarily do. This is Yahweh God taking his daily stroll as one does. So it's a repeated continuous behavior. I think makes it more awkward if you're attempting to if you're attempting to read the text differently. Simone has also recommended that Superchat have a look at Benjamin D. Sumner's book, The Bodies of God in Ancient Israel, for a substantial treatment of the different ideas of divine embodiment in the Hebrew Bible. It's an excellent book.
And and also Ted Lewis, has a recent 2021 publication, The Origin and Character of God. He's got an entire section, of course, Mark Smith deals with it in that sort of his monumental work on monotheism. So yeah, I think but the key takeaway here, and again, this is syntactical, right? The participle has to match in gender and number the thing that it's modifying. That's the key here. It doesn't have anything to do with body parts. It doesn't have anything to do with, it has to do with the gender and number of the noun that it's modifying. So if I say hu holech, he walks, I would have to say he holechet, she is walking, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think,
have to
one of the things, a point that I made on Twitter, which is where all the good points are made, guys.
Yes, obviously.
What I like to do in situations like this, when people have challenges with regards to the language, is I like to say, okay, so let's say you're right. Let's say you're right, Supersuit. But now let's pretend that the Adam hears the sound of a human being. Let's pretend the Adam hears the sound of the woman walking in the garden. How would you show that construction in Hebrew? And would it look any different at all from the way it's written with where is it there? It's or did you move it over? Yeah, we're in Jeremiah with Adkol Adonai Elohim as the object, right? So and I'll make one more point about this, and then we're gonna have to get into Jeremiah, which is where it's at.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So something else I noticed, you seem to understand, Supersuit, that many of these words in Hebrew have pretty flexible meanings when we try to translate them into English, and they're not always as intuitive as we think they should be. It's not a one-to-one correspondence. We saw that with the repeated usage of the word Shema in just this story, which sometimes we translate as heard, sometimes we translate as listen or obey. We also note, and you agreed with me, that there are numerous other instances. Josh showed a couple here. I provided you several passages where this is the case. Numerous other instances throughout the Hebrew Bible where the word kol means sound and can only mean sound, not voice. So really what this gets down to, thank you, Simone, always on hand to provide what I need. That looks right to me. And it's essentially the same construction. So the sorry, Simone, you distracted me now. What was I saying, Josh?
What does Dead Sea Scrolls fluidity mean?
Oh, I think that's with regards to a super chat. I'm gonna have to flag that. Was that from where did you see
Jesus
that?
Lord? Jesus Lord?
Yeah. Dead Sea Scrolls fluid. I'm gonna pull that one. I think I know what's going on with that, but we'll get to it. So so the point I want to make here is that we use syntax and we use context in order to understand and to gauge what individual words mean. We don't translate individual words on their own. We always translate within clauses. It makes abundantly clear sense. And this is why every single modern English translation goes with the sound of Yahweh God walking about in
And
the
it's a
garden.
it's a good question. I think everybody should recognize that it's because again, when you read it in the English, it's ambiguous.
And especially if you do know the Hebrew, right? Like if you're looking at the English and you're looking at the Hebrew and you're going, wow, this is the same word. What's going on here? Right?
Yeah.
So, and no, I mean, you're absolutely right. This, I will concede, doesn't prove that God had a body. You're right. We have many texts to provide that indication. It's just one text.
Yeah. I mean, I think the point of me coming into that discussion on that comment that you put on Derek's Twitter thing is that this isn't like a thing that has come up before, and about the syntax of Genesis 3:8. So I thought it was a good question, right? And it's one that I think we can answer syntactically. So
Yeah. But honestly, we need to move.
yeah, we do.
So
That was good. I think
let's
that was a
yeah,
good little
for sure. And I really appreciate you showing up, Super Suit. I hope you stick around.
Yeah, definitely.
And I hope you come back too. And let's read some text together. It's fun.
Heck yes.
So we left off with Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 7. And I don't remember who read last. I can start if you want.
Yeah, sure.
So all right, let's go. Just to remind everybody the way this works, Josh and I are going to alternate reading and translating the text, and then each of us will point out some interesting grammatical features and parse a couple of words, and kind of discuss anything that comes up. If you have any questions, please be sure to fire those our way. If you can super chat for priority, and I have to do this. I now have channel memberships, so let's all give a hand to Matthew K for becoming a member of my channel, which is super fun. Yeah, we get cool emojis, Josh.
That was the sound of Josh
you don't
calling into the microphone. Sorry.
Thank you very much. All right, but Matthew K, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. Let's do some reading. All right, starting in verse 7. Vayomer Adonai Elai Al tomar na'ar anochi ki al kol asher esh lachaka telech ve'et kol asher atzavacha tedaber.
Those are always fun.
I know.
Achachaz.
It always, yeah. I always get tripped up when the vav is actually hardened, as opposed to it being like a shirk, right? So yeah. So here we go. And Yahweh said to me. So this is Jeremiah speaking now. Yahweh said to me, "Do not say, I am a boy, for sorry, I'm just I'm looking at this cold. I didn't bring up my translation in time. Sorry, concerning
this one was tricky.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
On everything that or on every place that I have sent you, or on everything that I have sent you, everywhere that I will send you, you will go, and all that I command you, you will say. Sorry, I'm pulling up my my notes here for that. I should have been ready for this, shouldn't I? So
sorry, you had a lot of intro stuff to do. I threw off the rhythm.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So I mean, there's it's pretty straightforward in terms of the verb form. We've got vayomer there, which everybody should have down pat by now. This is a vav consecutive, third masculine singular, imperfect from amar. We have a couple of second masculine singular imperfects in there, tomar and telech from halak, the famous halak, and both of these are cal verbs. So we have interesting things going on with the vowel points under telech, because this is a one hey verb where the the hey disappears and the vowels lengthen. So and then the last verb in there, atzavacha, is a first common singular from tzava with the second masculine singular pronominal suffix. This is an object suffix. I will instruct you, or I will command you. I think did I have yeah. So yeah, I just noted that the vav is doubled in the hey qua s's. Yeah. Okay. That's all I've got. You got anything else for that one?
It's just this all, you know, that there may be like a upon whatever place,
Yeah.
whatever. But there are other places we've seen it actually in First Kings. When it can take the meaning of L, like it's just a standard sort of two. There was a case, was it Gihon, maybe? I can't remember. But it was in the Adonijah section, where it was like he went down to something. And there were some parallels to it that like it can take that meaning. So it's not like uber common, but yeah, that's all.
And I think I mentioned this last time we were together that by the time of the later Second Temple period in the Qumran scrolls, we see just constant interchange, right, between these two prepositions, el and al. And also, I'll just make one more note here. Don't get confused, people, by the particle there, al tomar. This is the negative particle al, which, as far as I know, is used exclusively in these second person negative commands. I think that's the case. I'd have to look that up. If not, it's the overwhelming frequency of the.
And I think the distinction that we usually see between all and low is low is like a negation of general prohibition. All is usually like, in this circumstance, don't do this. So like,
more specificity.
Right. Yeah. So if it's like don't murder, they'll use low. Don't ever do this. Lo tirtzach. But here, like you don't want to say don't ever say, because like there might be a circumstance where you need to say I'm a boy. So it's in this circumstance, in this case, do not say na'ar anochi. So yeah, that's all. I can't remember what they call that. So they have a term for this kind of vowel instead of general prohibition. It's like something else. I always thought,
I said,
ow. Don't say it like that. Right? Don't. So, negation. Ow.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Anyway. All right.
Verse 8.
Verse 8. Al tira mipnehem ki itcha ani lehatzilecha neum Yahweh. Man, you gave me the short one.
I did. It's okay.
That's okay. All right. So
the next one, the lots of these are pretty short, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Do not be afraid of them. Because I with you I am, right? With you I am to like deliver you. Says the Lord.
No, I don't know. An oracle of
Yahweh. Like the pronouncement or this is like you see this
the decree
all throughout. Yeah, like
this is a legal petition, which dominates so much of Jeremiah's prophecies, and these are pronouncements by Yahweh.
Oh, I see why you wanted 7. You wanted me to have 10. All right, Josh, remember what all these verbs mean. Just kidding. So
you get all the
altira.
infinitives.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
So here, altira, do not be afraid, is from yara. Notice that the yud becomes a hiruk yud. This construction, so I actually went through and searched the ways that you say don't be afraid of. Sometimes you can have it marked, I think, with a bait. Sometimes it's a simple accusative, like don't fear X. Here you can have min quite a bit. You can also have mipnei, so from the face of, from the presence of, but they all sort of mean the same thing. Like don't be afraid of them. But you can just have some variation in it.
It's honestly the problem is English. The problem is not Hebrew. It's because being afraid of them is a sort of a weird way to say what's obviously very clear here on the Hebrew text, right? So don't let that trip you up, people.
Yeah, definitely. So lehatzilecha, this is a hifil infinitive construct from natsal. So to deliver, notice the nun assimilates into the tzaddik. You would have lehargish as your sort of standard form of the hifil infinitive construct. So lehargish would be lehatzil with the nun assimilating, and then echa as the as Kipp pointed out in the last verse, your second masculine singular object suffix. Yeah, that's about it. Itcha, this is, iti, itcha, itach, ito, ita. Like these are ones that you just sort of memorize. But notice it looks like the et, oti, otcha, otach, oto, ota, but it's not, it's it. So it's like im. If you can remember that, im is with, eat is with. That's how I remembered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
There you go.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Nice. Verse 9, just flying right through here.
Yeah, we are.
Vayishlach Adonai et yado vayaga al pi vayomer Adonai elai hine natati devarai befecha. And Yahweh extended his hand, and he touched on my mouth, or just, touched my mouth. And Yahweh said to me, look, or behold, or see here, I have put my words in your mouth, or on your mouth, in your mouth. Right. Lots of straightforward stuff here, except for the first verb vayishlach is it's a strong cal, third masculine singular imperfect from shalach, with the vav consecutive. Did I say vav consecutive already? Yeah. So the second verb is a hifil, a third masculine singular from naga, which usually means to strike. So there's a few things going on here, right? So we have the technical term here is it's apocryphated, which means that it's shortened on the end, which is why you have the unusual thing happening with the vowel underneath the gimel, instead of like the hiruk yod like you would expect. But we also have the pataḥ underneath the doubled yod in the verbal prefix, which is consistent in what we expect from the hifil. And when I look at this form, that's my first clue, right?
Yeah.
To understanding what this verb is. And in the hifil form, it doesn't have that, because that's sort of my instinctive thought too, knowing what naga means and seeing it used. It almost looks like he's punching him in the mouth, but he's not. In the Hifil, it's a much softer, more reserved kind of action. So this is just Yahweh's not punching Jeremiah in the mouth, although that would be funny. I think that would
I wonder what the variant is. I didn't look.
Oh, hey, yeah, I didn't either.
You want to just look real quick?
So yeah,
9b.
sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, I hope it's punching him in the mouth.
Vayiga. Yeah, just in the cow.
Oh, it is. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that does make it more fun.
I forget what the Latin is. The leg here. That's terrible. I always struggle with the Latin.
I didn't do Latin.
Like paucity of manuscripts. That one I got.
The abbreviations. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway.
But
sorry.
Where was I? Verse 9.
Vayaga.
We did Yaga. We've got Vayomerit again. We've got Natati, which is a first first common singular perfect formed from Natan, and the weak noon assimilates into the second tav there. You can see it in the dot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look really close, as Josh always does. So, but yeah, I think that's it for this. And you get the interesting one, the truly interesting verse.
Do you mind if I talk about Hine for just a second?
Yeah, sure. Just want to say hi to Lawrence. Good to see you, Lawrence.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I can't see the chat. I just have this huge. I'm the blessed one here, right? I got this huge Hebrew screen in front of me, which is awesome. So Hine, and this is perfect timing, actually, for Lawrence to come in, because this was their favorite word, right? Because they read it in the King James, behold, behold.
Yeah.
Which is a great, great introduction for this.
And there's, sorry, are you introducing the verse? Sorry, verse 10. Maybe you'll say it. Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I was. No, this is still in 9. So, Hine is one of these words, and you did it. I thought it was really cool, but I can't remember the word that you used. Like, look here, I think is what you said.
Look here is what I quite often like to do with that one.
Yeah. So it has this. Yeah, that's true. It often has this idea of like immediacy, or like a near location, but like. So what I did, because I always struggle with it, because it varies with each, maybe not with each context, but like with the context is going to drive this. So I just started looking through a bunch of different verses that have Hine, and I came up with ways that I translated it. So like, here are some of them. Just, so like just now I did this, right? Or right here, or right there. So like behold is, it's how they always do it. Behold, but like right here is where this particular place is. Now, as in like like soon, temporally, like right in the immediacy of temporally. Here as well, indeed. And the one that I always remember is when you have Hine plus a participle. It sort of takes on this nuanced form of I am about to. So you see this a lot in Jeremiah. Right. We'll see it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So like, let's say, like ani noten, Hine ani noten, or Hineni noten. Behold, sorry, God, see how ingrained it is?
Yes.
I am about to set, or I am about to give X. Anyway, so those are just things. Lambden it's a little dated, obviously, his grammar, but Lambden has a really great section on this. Sayal has a shorter, but also a pretty good section on this. So yeah, just something to sort of, if you want to start to kind of dress up your translations a little bit, instead of just going woodenly with like behold or something, which is what it's fine to do in the beginning.
It gets tiresome after a while,
Yeah.
but yeah, Tomer, I think it's sad that you acknowledged Lawrence, but I had nothing for him.
Sorry, Tomer.
So,
I can't.
sorry,
All
Tomer.
all I heard was what you said. So it's your fault, Kipp. Anyway,
probably. It's usually my fault. All right.
Here we go. Verse 10.
Josh is just stalling.
Yes, no doubt.
To avoid reading verse 10.
ראה הפקדתיך היום הזה על הגויים ועל הממלכות, לנטוש ולנטוץ ולהעביד ולהרוס.
So glad you got this one.
לבנות ולנטוע. Okay. Look. Here we've just said, Hene,
right?
Behold, look, see here, maybe, I don't know. I have appointed you. This word pakad is the bane of my existence. It can have so many different meanings, but here I think appointed is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I've set you in an office is sort of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've appointed you today or this day, literally, over the nations and over the kingdoms. So setting them up in office with them under your jurisdiction, I guess, sort of is the way. So lintots, lintosh for lintots. So lintots is like to uproot something. Lintosh, I think is to uproot. Lintots is to pull down. Somebody, I don't have it in front of me, so please, you guys can correct me. But I think it's to uproot and to pull down. Ha'avid is to destroy. Velaharos is to
also destroy.
Like to devastate, I think is how I did it. And then
plus the smashing and bonking.
Yeah. Livnot velintoa, so and to build and to plant. So notice like 4 destructive infinitive constructs and then 2 like positive rebuilding ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me walk through just the parsing here. Letter A, this is a cow imperative masculine singular from Ra'ah. So letter A, letter E, letter U, Reina, I think is what it would look like in the feminine plural. Hifkadicha is a hifil form, a really nice one. Hirgashti, hirgashta, hirgish, hirgasht, hirgish.
Yeah, it's unsurprising, right?
Yeah. So hifkadti is nice. So just a hifil, perfect first common singular from pakad with the object suffix second masculine singular. Hayom hazeh, this day. Al, again, is governed by pakad here. These are all infinitive constructs. This is a cow. This is a cow. This is a there's a hifil.
Yeah, that's it.
Another
that's
cow, another cow.
No.
So the what's my trying to remember what my cow lichtov, I think is what my infinitive construct for that. Lehargish for the hifil. Ledaber for the PL. If you memorize a particular solid, like a sound form for each of the different binyanim, that kind of gives you the pattern. And then, so if you hear me when I walk through a hifil verb, usually I'll do ragash, because that's the one that I memorized. Hiragashti, hiragashta, hiragashti, higish. So anyway, so did I cover that one?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay.
One of the interesting things about this listing here with the infinitives is I think this is an instance where like you've got lintosh, va lintots, va la hava ha'avid, va lacharos, and then just Levanot, Valin, Toa. So I think we've got one of these instances here where the vovs are tying the ideas together in a series.
Yeah, right.
And that's the
a good
reason
observation.
why for the last two, live note doesn't start with the vov, because
Nice.
this is the other side of it, right? I
I
think that's what's going on.
wonder. I wonder if this is the AA here, is that these don't appear so that they balance. I wonder if these are deleted from the
Oh,
manuscript. 10
oh yeah,
AA.
that could
Sorry, I'm
be.
such a text critics nerd.
No, it's good. We like text critics
Oh,
around here. Is that 10?
what does FRT
I
mean?
don't know what that one means.
That's so terrible.
Uh,
I guess if we were to go to 18.7 and 24.6.
18.7 and 24.6.
Oh,
We
yes, of
figured that.
course. This shows up. This pattern shows up in several places in Jeremiah.
Right.
31, I think, is notably. Is that a place where it shows up with the new covenant? I guess I could just remember what was said.
Yes, I think so.
I need to just learn what those.
But I think Tomer's on point here. VHS does suck. He's also he made another interesting point here. He's reading Holiday along with our reading, and says that Holiday concludes the present Masoretic text is an attempt at completeness in depicting Jeremiah's call beyond the concision of the original text. So I assume Holiday's got the original text tucked in his back pocket there somewhere.
Well,
that he used
to
write his commentary. Brilliant commentary, but wow, it's yeah, it has moments though.
That's bold.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's continue with verse 11. And then maybe there's a pataḥ at the end of verse 12. Maybe we'll just finish up with 11 and 12 today. Read some questions and some super chats, and we'll get out of here on time. All right. Vayhi davar Adonai Elai lemor ma'ata ro'eh Yeremiyahu va'omar makel shoked ani ro'eh.
This is such a cool line.
I know, eh? So literally the word of Yahweh was to me. This is one of these instances where we can rightly translate the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, "What do you see, Jeremiah?" I love that he uses his name. I
see lots of things. You're gonna have to be more specific, right. Lord.
And honestly, maybe we need to spend some time talking. Maybe we need to take a few minutes to talk about the vision here. And this is the whole thing, people. Verses 11 and 12 is the whole thing. But maybe we need to take a couple minutes to talk about it when we're done. And I said, an almond branch, basically, a branch of almond, is what I am looking at.
Yeah.
Or what I am seeing. So there's a couple things to point out here. So these verbs, you'll see it's the same form, ro'eh. This is a cal participle, masculine singular, from ra'ah. And I think I think in particular in the second usage with the pronoun, it preserves this sense of a present expression. Quite often, things that happen in the moment in a spectual language like Hebrew, where there is no tense, things that are expressed in the present tense are often done so using the independent pronoun and the participle. And then I think just about everything else we've got Vayhi, which everyone should know. This is from Haya. a third masculine singular imperfect with the vav consecutive. You've got lemor, which is the infinitive construct with the prefix lamed. Usually functions in Hebrew as a form of open quotation mark. You've got wherever you see ma, which means what, this is an interrogative particle, so you're going to want to as Pat Sage, no, not Pat Sajak. Oops, Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek is Canadian, by the way. Did you know that?
No.
As Alex Trebek says, it needs to be in the form of a question, right? So that's what's going on here. Va Omar is a first common plural with the vav consecutive, or no, that's a conjunctive vav. Sorry. So this is I am seeing. So yeah.
Did you say,
I think
you meant singular.
I did I not say singular?
Yeah, it's just so that nobody gets confused.
Don't get confused, people. Don't listen to me.
Confused is bad.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Because this will show up in the comments and how you're anti-God. Now, because you said plural.
That's what happened.
You're here to destroy Christianity.
I'm by my
twisting the scripture.
by ignoring.
Should let the audience in on our jokes more. All right. Well, let me wrap up with 12 then. Did I lose you? Kipp? Oh, well, I can't hear anything anymore.
Can you hear me? Now you can hear me.
There you are.
Sorry about that. I wiggled my mic cord.
Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, is it me?
Whoops. Because you can't see me either, can you?
No, I can't. It's like, oh my gosh,
right.
what happened? Oh man,
it's scary.
All right,
you're left here all by yourself. Wow.
I know, right?
Terrifying.
All right, here we go. Verse 12. Vayomer Yahweh Elai hetavta lirot ki shoked ani al devari la'asoto. La'asoto. All right, some cool stuff here. And Yahweh said to me, and this is another one of those syntax, you know, you kind of have to do some investigating and look at how the syntax works here. Because you might want to translate this like, you have been good to see, right? Or you have done well to see. But the way that this construction works when you have this form of tav with the infinitive construct, and you just look up usages of it. The hetav is it's translated adverbially. So you have seen well. So that's how you take these. You have seen well, which everybody watching is like, yeah, sure. Thanks, Josh. Like, I could have figured that out. Nobody would have translated, you have done good to the seeing. I mean, maybe you would. Who knows? You have seen well, but here, hetavti, this is a hifil. Sorry, hetavta. This is a hifil, perfect, second masculine singular from yatav. And lirot is just a cow infinitive construct. Ki shoked ani al devari la'asoto. Now, this is one of the ways that you see ancient Near Eastern prophecies working. There's a lot of wordplay. So I won't go into them now, but like you just, it's not just in Hebrew, right? There are lots of Akkadian omens and texts, prophetic texts that have this type of wordplay. So, you know, shaked is an almond, right? shoked, and you can see shakad, shin kof dalet, shin kof dalet. It's the same root, but it doesn't mean for I am almonding.
Almonding.
Right? Almonding. It's not what it means. Like he is like watching over, right? This word shows up in places like taking care to do something. Like if you're guarding something, you're guarding it in a sense that I'm gonna at least in many passages that have this nuance, it's like I'm gonna make sure that I do
That's a good
X,
way to
and
do it.
some
Yeah.
time may go by before I do it, but I'm keeping an eye on this to make sure that it happens, right? So here when he says ani shoked al devari la'asoto, I am watching over, I'm guarding my word to do it, right? So I'm going to I'm going to make sure that I do what I say that I do what I say I'm going to do. But so just so that we understand the syntax here, the grammar, shoked is just collective participle, masculine singular. You can see that pretty clearly. Devari, notice, and I don't have my iPad with me, so I can't draw it out. Sorry, but you have davar.
Oh,
I know. You have vowel reduction
man.
when you have the accent shift. You have vowel reduction in an open, unaccented propatonic syllable that has a comet or tsere, and this one has a comet, so it's devari. And then la'asot would be the infinitive construct, and then the O on the end is the third person object suffix, masculine object suffix.
Yep.
To do it, referring back to my word. So there you go.
So I actually have a note on Hetavta. This was from Walt Keon O'Connor, I think. Where he mentions the object of a hiphil expressing an adverbial idea is always introduced by preposition lamed. And he calls this this is Joan, not Walt Keon O'Connor. He has a whole section actually on the adverbial hiphil, where there are hiphil forms of the verb that of various verbs that express what he calls a mode of action, right? So you are doing, you are doing good, right? Is the sense by seeing this, or you see well. So
you did good.
You done good, Jeremiah. Tomer, I think, encapsulates this vision perfectly when he says, "I also really like that Yahweh just showed him a stick to prove a point with a pun," because that is literally what's happening here in this. Jason from the Hebrew Cafe. By the way, it's good to see you, Jason. Says this happens with the verb shamar. Takes an adverbial sense to mean to X carefully, right? For keeping. Yeah, no, it's a good point. But now it helps to clarify things when you recognize the wordplay, right? Between shoked and shoked. But I gotta say, I'll say a couple of things. First of all, it helps a little bit to clarify things with the wordplay, but I'm still left going, what the hell is Yahweh talking about? And the other thought that I have with regards to this this vision is, like, this is the easiest vision or prophecy just to kind of make up on the fly. Jeremiah is walking along, he sees a branch in a tree, and he delivers a word from Yahweh that basically only means something's going to happen. It's about that precise. Am I wrong here?
SJ's going to make a video about it soon. It's precisely fulfilled prophecy. Something will happen that I said.
If this was the first prophecy that Jeremiah uttered, I could see everyone going, try again, Jeremiah.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Thanks, buddy.
He really is real.
All right. We're having fun here.
Yes.
Flum 66. Yes, this is the substance of the word. Something will happen. As sure as that's an almond branch.
That should be our new saying. As sure as the almond branch, that's gonna happen.
Okay, we're doing Diablo Critics in 2 Sundays, Josh. And I challenge you to get that into the live stream. As sure as that's an almond branch.
As sure as that's an almond branch. I'll be damned. Gosh.
So this is the Kipp and Josh challenge. So all right. Well, that's probably it's 3 minutes before the top of the hour. I got a couple of questions here.
Cool.
Revilo 178 for $5 Canadian. You can almost get a cup of coffee for that in the States there, Josh. Almost, but not quite. Almost. Or old grammars like Gesenius and pre-Dead Sea Scrolls textbooks still useful for learners or hopelessly outdated? I certainly wouldn't say they're hopelessly outdated.
I use it. I use it all the time.
They're outdated. I would use my Gesenius if I could find it, but as I said, I'm pretty sure it's stuck in a basement underneath the University of Agder in Norway. So yeah, it's still these are still good useful sources. I would you can certainly get a strong sense of how the language works, even if maybe some of the ideas about what's happening in the language have changed a little bit over time. It's certainly not going to prevent you from being able to sort your way through it. So, and honestly, I'm not all that sure how much. There've been a couple of specific grammars written on the Hebrew of the Dead Sea Scrolls. There's one by Kim Rohn. I think might be the most recent one. There's another one by what's his name? Shoot, the name slips me. But I honestly don't know how much a lot of that stuff has worked its way into more comprehensive biblical Hebrew grammars either. But thank you, Revelo, for the $5 Canadian super chat. Jesus Lord for 35,000 of these things. Thank you very much for the super chat. How fluid is the Old Testament, major or minor fluid? And here's where he clarified Dead Sea Scrolls fluidity.
I see.
So, and I think the question
Why don't I answer this one, Kipp?
Please go, Josh.
I don't know how much exposure you have to the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I think with this is with respect to I guess stability of the text that we have at Qumran when it comes to the biblical manuscripts. I would say that it's pretty, and I'm not sure how to gauge minor or major fluid, but I would say it's considerably fluid. And what I mean by that is that we have multiple copies of all the known ancient versions. We have where applicable, we've got copies of text that look like the Samaritan Pentateuch, copies of text that look like the Masoretic text, copies of text that look like the Hebrew text underneath the Septuagint translation, the Greek translation in the Septuagint. But we've also got a bunch of other no two biblical, quote unquote, biblical manuscripts from Qumran are alike. There are some pretty dramatic changes that occur between them, so much so that scholars have developed new categories when something's just too far flung from what we recognize as an existing version or edition of a text. It usually gets thrown into this catch-all we call rewritten Bible or parabiblical text, which is just another way of saying it's really, really different. But, an ongoing question is how much, I mean, what are we talking about here? Are these a separate thing from the actual copies of quote unquote scripture that we have at Qumran, or is this just another way of doing the same thing? But it's a good question. Thanks for the super chat. I've got a couple more questions here. One from PI. Hey guys, Dr. Josh, would you say Matthew used Hebrew scripture while writing his gospel?
I am so sorry, PI. It's not a question for me, unfortunately, because I'm not a New Testament.
Because you've never read the Gospel of Matthew, right?
Well, I only read it as a fundamentalist, so I would want to be careful about how I answer it.
You just got into your PhD program and tossed that Greek New Testament.
Who needs it?
Nice. I think he's wanting you to weigh in on the topic du jour from last month about.
Well, let me say this then. I think it might, but I can't be sure, so maybe not.
You weren't there, so you don't. I wasn't
there. There could have been a worldwide flood. I wasn't there. Who knows? It's all a journey.
Yeah, it's all a journey, guys. I got a couple more here. Dr. Josh and Dr. Kipp. Oh, this isn't a question. This is just, effusive praise, which I am always happy to recognize. Dr. Josh and Dr. Kipp are my favorite.
That when you put it up. Oh my goodness! There's such a nice thing about
nice things about us. Oh. But we are Jacques Polomer's. I hope I didn't butcher that. I hope that sounded okay. We are Jacques Polomer's favorite Hebritarians. I also see Tomer and Lawrence reference. Fine fellows in the Hebraicals as well. Hugs to all. And I've got my abacus ready. Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing Josh and I aren't wearing our road warrior armor today. Because when we're wearing that stuff, we can't receive hugs. It hurts. You get hurt if you do that. So, but we're not today. We've set it aside.
That there's we are not cut out to be hawk and animal. Just
we're not.
Yeah, we're just not.
Which is why we quickly abandoned. we abandoned the concept. So I got one more here from Jamie Gallier. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. And he just chimed in to say, I enjoyed the stream as always. Thank you both. Thank you, Jamie, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I think that's it. So
no questions about King Arthur or anything?
I don't see anything here. Someone wants to know if Yochanan ben Zakkai was a Pharisee or not. Sorry, and you're not on the inside joke here, Josh. So I will key you in. You may or may not have known that our friend Simone wrote a scathing yet brilliant response to one Dr. Richard Carrier on his understanding and usage of rabbinic literature. And Richard got really mad, and he wrote a blog response and published it just a couple of days ago, in which he argued that Yochanan ben Zakkai, the Yochanan ben Zakkai, was a disgraced Sadducee. So I don't know, man. I just don't know. So anyways, thanks, Simone. I appreciate it. I think we're done, and we're gonna get out of here. And I don't have my my usual show outro, so I'm just gonna use
You want me to
something
beatbox
else.
us out? I can beatbox
Yeah,
us out. Yeah.
do that. You're gonna do that?
Come on, Kipp.
No, this is you. This is all you, dude. I don't do
You
this.
can
I don't
humiliate
do-
yourself.
No, you're really good. Yeah, you're really good, Josh, at the beatboxing, right, everyone? Everyone says you're really good, Josh, at the beatboxing. It's really
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go, guys, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.